Once again, we are back, but this time we're back with a bang. Today we have a very brilliant entrepreneur with a very interesting story, extremely inspiring. But I don't want to get too much into it before we actually speak to him. So I'm going to read his intro, his brief profile, so that you know who we are talking about. Today we have Siyabonga, a South African technology entrepreneur, a techtivist, a civic innovator, and a movement builder, whose life story is a statement to resilience, vision, and transformation of power and purpose. Sia's journey to success was not without challenges. He was raised as an orphan in the foster care system. Sia's early years exposed him to the harsh realities faced by vulnerable children and undeserved communities. But in the midst of these challenges, he discovered a lifelong mission to become a voice of the voiceless, a builder of systems that empower, and a champion for the dignity and future of the marginalized people. Without further ado, I am Mr. Cooper, and this is The Cooper Show. I hope nobody's listening, but if you are, please keep this to yourself. Sia, welcome.
That's a lovely intro right there. Sanbonan.
Lovely to have you on the show.
It's amazing to be here, man.
Yes, and today we are with Mr. T. As you know, Mr. T, our ghost. Mr. T, how are you doing this morning?
Good. How are you doing, Mr. Sia?
You know how it is.
Very excited to have you today. Welcome to the podcast, the Cooper Show podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here, man.
We are happy to have you. And I think you know, just reading your intro and reading your profile, it's very powerful. And I think more than anything, very inspiring. And I thought to myself, how many other people should hear this story? And I thought, that's why the Cooper Show was created. That's why this platform exists. So we can put ahead stories like yours to inspire many kids who may be in your situation and they don't see how to, navigate life through into the future. But what I would like to know from you, perhaps just to, as a starting point, is could you take us back to your early life? What was it like growing up in a foster care system in South Africa?
Yay. I swear to you, I like coming here, I was thinking about, okay, cool, we're going to be talking about One Pulse, we're going to be talking about what's next.
Yeah.
And then now when you do the intro, I'm like, oh, there's also me.
There's you.
I'm also part of the story.
Yes. Because I'm sorry, because there can't be One Pulse without you.
Without you, yes,
So-
indeed.
Man.
Yeah.
I think altruistically we hope that the things we build can exist without us. And yeah, that's the prayer, that if tomorrow I decide to go chill by the lake and sip on something nice, things can happen without me, right? So
Yes.
but yeah, right now we are on the story of me. So I was born. Damn, I'm actually talking about this.
Yes, you are.
My story is that of the personification of the suffering that came after the apartheid era. So when 1994 came and there was this freedom, there's the residue of the suffering that was experienced by our elders and those that followed, and then by extension us.
Yes.
So then I'm therefore level 3 or generation number 3 of the inherited suffering from apartheid. And I call it that way because I'm just gonna touch a little bit into my surname, Siyabonga Ndaba. The
Yes.
surname is Ndaba. It's a maiden surname. It's a woman's surname.
Yeah.
Who was married into polygamy and then had kids and then didn't like the polygamous lifestyle, left home, had her own 3 kids, and then she grew up with them. So now everybody that comes after that uses the Ndaba law, right?
Yes.
So I'm born to a child of the daughter of this woman,
Yes.
which is now, hence I say I'm
Third generation.
three, yeah.
Yes.
but now note how she suffered in polygamy, right? She has kids, and then her children, now, but they suffer through apartheid, amongst other things. And then they have then children who, in this case, it's my mother, a South African lady, um, who, through the being introduced and experiencing the apartheid situations, did what she could, the best she could. And then we were born.
Yeah.
4 years after my birth, she dies. Her
Oh.
death was due to, while she was trying to do the best she could, she was involved with taxi driver, squad people, and she saw someone get killed, and people then came after her, and that's how the story ended.
Oh shucks, because she had witnessed.
Yes,
Oh shucks.
yes, yeah. So when my uncle tells me, he says, I don't know if you know the place. It's called Grotvlei.
Yes.
Towards Grotvlei, near those
I know
farm sites.
Grotvlei, yes.
She was around. They were around those areas, and Chuti, this taxi person was a client of hers. And when he got murdered, she was in the car, stepped out, ran away, and then they turned back to look for her. And then, but she didn't die immediately. They shot her in the head, and she went in hospital. I was 4 years old, but I do have some glimpses of her in hospital, and yeah, that was how the story ended from her side.
I want us to visit your businesses, the two businesses that you run. One Pulse and the other one is the tech company. Tell us more about how that came about and what inspired it. And if your friends were to describe you as a business, what would they describe you as?
Last question. That's a nice one. Yeah, the last question is pretty nice. So lately, I'm noticing, like, whenever I get to the office, like, and then my friends get hyped up, I think it's because I come with the hype, with the energy. So they're like, at least he's here, he's gonna be making noise and stuff. So my friends would probably call me like, what's a wild card? I'm not a wild card, but I'm a hyper person.
Mm.
I make things happen. So
Yeah.
that's what my friends would say. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. The previous question again?
How would they describe you? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Tell
the
us more.
businesses,
Yeah,
right.
tell us more about One Pulse, perhaps.
Yeah.
I myself, I was
Right.
quite intrigued by it. As an entertainment lawyer, I deal a lot with IP and people with ideas, and I see a lot of ideas come through my office. But this specific one, I felt was really important, and it has the potential to be big. So perhaps take us through that journey. What inspired it, and where are you at this point?
Right. Yeah. Thank you. So where I'm at right now, okay, what inspired One Pulse Online? So
Please speak into the mic. Maybe bring it closer, a bit closer.
okay, I'll do this. So in 2015, we started a movement called Real Pandas in Cape Town. Real Pandas was intended to get 1,000 young people to walk from Cape Town to Joburg, so that we can raise funds to build an institution that would kind of have an institution for change, that if a young person has an amazing idea, they get taught how to apply it, and they get taught how it fits within society, and then they get sponsored on how to implement it, etc. We did the we did the walk, but so we prepared, but on the day of the walk, only 2 people could walk. It was myself and Tobani, and Tobani even dropped out halfway through as well, because I think he thought I would change my mind if, like, the whole crew is not coming. So I kept on walking, and in that walk, we ended up doing calling it a peace walk, in the sense that we had a big box that, while walking from Cape Town to Pretoria, we get messages from people that we keep meeting along the way to say, what are you struggling with, and how do you wish the government could help you? So we walked with that box until we got to Pretoria. We met with the president. Oh, by the way, we had built a platform at that time that was intended to digitally do what we envision, which is to support a young person from school until varsity, until they get a job. When I say support, I mean it monitors their progress, how they work at school, and then it saves that progress in case there's a change of school. When they go to the next school, they get the school gets an update all the way until work life. And it had an AI element before AI was
AI.
AI. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we got to Pretoria, we met the president. See, the news are there, things are trending. It was Jacob Zuma at that time. He took out 2K and then he gave it to me. There was cereal on the side, and they called us. So we went to their aides, and then they rented a hotel for us. Well, by that time it was just myself because along the way people kept on dropping out, but other people kept on joining in.
Sorry, what happened to Tobani?
Dropped out.
Where at what point?
Tobani disappeared
After 1,000 kilometers before? I'm trying to figure out.
around 500 kilometers. He disappeared around 500 kilometers. Anyways, so after that, so we took this idea, we spoke with them. I had built some code for it, and then I expected to see the president take this thing in, introduce it to the Home Affairs, because that was the request. Our request was, we have this platform, we just want to plug it into the Home Affairs and let the government at least hear what the community is saying and then come up with solutions.
Is this platform OnePlus?
No.
Yeah.
It had a different name then.
Yeah.
It was a different platform altogether, even.
Yeah.
But because the intention of the platform was to make the platform monitors the individual from school all the way to work.
Oh, that's the support you meant when you saying you wanted to digitally support children.
The idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So that died out. In fact, that was soul crushing, because after your people who you left in Cape Town see you standing with the president in media and stuff, they're like, he got the tender, he got the money. And now, so they think, because now when you come back, the momentum is gone, because these people know how to silence you very, very nice and gently. So the momentum died.
Just for the record, did you get the tender?
Well, if 2,000 rand is a tender, then okay.
I'm just kidding, man. Yep.
But 2 years later, there was a launch of an app called Moya, and that app till today is being used for distribute 350s and for young people to apply for jobs and stuff. So it holds like 40% of what the initial idea was. And I suppose they took whoever, they tendered with them, and then they told them, make this app and take it out there.
Sorry, are you suggesting they took from your idea to develop their own? So at that time, when you made this presentation to the president, had you protected the idea?
Asking the question.
Yeah, because I thought that's take you would, as an entertainment lawyer, something you would also an IP lawyer.
Different from entertainment, by the way.
Yeah, but he's in intellectual property, which falls squarely within the question I'm asking, which is, at the time of presentation, was there non-disclosure? Was the idea registered and all those sort of things?
I had paperwork.
Okay.
I had things. I had the NDAs were part of the presentation that I had physically. I gave it to the president, and the aides took them, and that's the last time I saw it.
But he didn't sign.
There was no signing.
Yeah, I don't imagine Namalala signing. Do you want to say something about that? Because I think it's quite an important topic, especially for viewers who are watching and listening.
Very important. You need to protect your ideas with the non-disclosure, particularly with an app. An app we know has copyrights, and it's the copyright to the code that's protectable, right? But more often than not, if you approach someone with your idea and you don't get them to sign a non-disclosure, they can make use of that idea. Now, when we look at IP, intellectual property, how do you protect it? There's about 3 ways to protect it. You protect it with your copyrights, which is the code that we spoke about. There's the trademark to your logo and your brand that protects you against other similar businesses within that specific class. And then we've got patents. So if anything is novel about your idea, it's an innovation that's brand new, you can patent it and you enjoy about 20 years to be the exclusive user of that specific invention.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's much. Ew. Ah, man.
So maybe take us through that journey that you had to walk in terms of the IP and
So at that time, I tried to get a patent, and I was told I need to have like 100K, starting from 10K though. Oh, sorry, I was told I need to have like 10,000 because I went to the NYDA and I told them, and then they were like, okay, I need to have it. Oh, and then there's the NYDA, guys.
perhaps before you move forward, maybe our viewers might benefit from this. You can file a provisional patent, which is, I think, about 500 Rand to file. Yeah. You file it, and then you have 12 months to finalize the final patent application. So in that 12 months, the reason why they put it there is that most people during idea phase, they want to raise funds and they can't afford the patent specification monies up front. So you can register the provisional patent. You have 12 months to then gather those funds to file a full patent application.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now you know.
Now I know.
Now you know. And because you're an innovator, so this will benefit you in the long run, because I think from you, there's still many ideas we should expect.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you to just define what One Pulse does, what it is,
right.
and what is its scope for those who don't understand.
Right.
Yeah.
So One Pulse is a civic engagement platform. By civic engagement, it means it allows the civic means the public, the community, to communicate with the government through so One Pulse Online is the middleman between yourself and the government. And what specifically One Pulse does is we keep evidence of your communication. So you stand, let's say you're experiencing a problem in your community, maybe a water burst pipe or a car accident or somebody got robbed or even whatever. Wherever it happened, take a picture, post it, and say how you feel about it. Our responsibility is go to the municipality and say to them, did you see this post? What's your reply to it? And then now, for as long as they don't reply, it stays there. There are posts that have been there for a long time, which in future, we will still go back and say, hey, Minister, hey, Councillor, we spoke to you about this. Hey, department, we spoke to you about this. And this is one of the problems that you guys haven't sorted out.
So it's for accountability.
It's for accountability.
Yeah.
It was initially created with the idea for accountability. But
Yeah.
then over time, I felt that if we are only sticking to our accountability, we are kind of limiting ourselves.
Yeah.
So we've kind of gamified it, or we've introduced some gamified version where, so the traditional version is the public post and then the councillor and the municipality see their posts on the
Oh,
other
yes.
side. That's the traditional version.
Right.
But then the one that we are rolling out now, it allows for the public, the municipality, and the private sector to engage. How? You would post the problem, and then a person who has a registered NPO or a registered business who does, or who in their statement, in their, what do they call it? In their mission statement, they say, we solve these types of problems.
Yeah.
We go to those people. We say, hey, we have these problems posted here, here, and here. And then we either the person will create an account in One Pulse Online, or we'll create the account for them and say, these are the problems that go in hand with your mission statement, and they are in your area and they remain unsolved. So when a person goes to receive, for example, a tender, not a tender, what do they call them? A sponsorship from ABSA For example, you have a company that does home-based care and you get a sponsorship from ABSA. We go to ABSA and we challenge that sponsorship based off of the reports we have as evidence. We say, you gave this person a sponsorship based off of whatever criteria and application that they applied for, but their criteria and the work on the ground don't match, or what they promise they do and the evidence of work that they say they do and the work that they have on we have on the ground don't match. So then ABSA will tell us how they gave that person 3 million or whatever. So that's basically what one.
And is it a non-profit company, or do you make?
No.
And if you do make money through it, how do you because I'm trying to understand who's your client.
Service fees. We
So
charge.
your clients, like community members, for them to have access onto the app and be able to utilize it. You said it's free.
It's free.
So how do you generate revenue out of this concept?
So we take advantage of currently existing infrastructure for sponsorships. So
Yes.
currently, if a person does something amazing, there is CSI organizations and there are different government departments that deal specifically with such sponsorships. So to those departments, we are the middlemen. We're the service provider. They are looking for clients to sponsor.
Right.
We have the clients
Right.
that needs the sponsorship. So they must pay us the service fee to have access to the dashboard to see these clients all the time.
I see.
Yeah.
And that's quite brilliant. And how far reaching is it? Is it only in South Africa, or is it in certain specific places in South Africa, or is it global? How far is
So
how far reaching is
right
it?
now we're covering 3 provinces. The 3 major provinces being Joburg, Cape Town, and KZN.
Western Cape. Cape Town is not a province.
Oh, shucks. Yes, the Western Cape.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Gauteng, Western Cape, and
KwaZulu-Natal.
KZN.
Yeah.
So, but the hope is to cover the whole world. In fact, we're having a conversation with some guys in Brazil because there is, I'm not going to mention names, but there's a private company who we got entangled with who wants to take their services to Brazil. So since they have the money and we have the resources, they'll then take One Pulse to Brazil. But it's too soon, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I answered.
Yeah, but the potential is there. I mean, from where I stand, I can already see there's massive potential for this to develop. But I think what I wanted to also ask you is, in your journey in developing this, it's not really an app, it's a platform, right?
Yeah.
It's an online platform. In your journey developing this platform, what would you say were the biggest challenges in getting it through? And I'll tell you what the context of my question is. It's that you are in Africa, particularly South Africa, all the way from Foslo, and you are developing this groundbreaking technology. And you will obviously need a lot of support. And South Africa is not a very tech savvy society. So even convincing the government to support you, I mean, I'm sure it's not as easy as it should be. So what are some of the challenges you'd like to share that you came across, and how did you overcome them?
You know, when we were kids in school and when we head towards the gate, like after school, gets packed. And then as it gets packed, a lot of weird things happen there. While you're trying to go out, somebody could slap you and you don't know who slapped you.
I hate that I know
There are
this.
there are those impulses
Yeah.
that we had as kids that as we grow up we think they died. They don't. Adults still have those impulses. And now they have them in the workspace, they have them in business, they have them in all these innovation spaces. So the one challenge that I've noticed, or that I've had to deal with, is I don't know what to call it yet, where people can see you got something good, can see this can happen, but they're not gonna get involved in any way until they see themselves benefiting from it. And for as long as they can't see their benefit from it, and even if they see that this thing is for the good of everybody else, they thinking for whatever deal that they have going on under the table, that can benefit from this. And if whatever you're doing is so altruistic that it doesn't allow for corruption, most times you're not going to get any support. So the difficulty that I've had in my journey is that the cases I'm dealing with, I don't want to say get people arrested, but since it's law enforcement related most of the time, there's a lot of corruption that happens in this world, in this country. And most of the people that could have funded us did not fund us because they realized that this would backfire on them if this thing succeeds.
How so? I think I'm lost. How do you link that to corruption? At what point does it become corruption? Because I'm thinking they are funding you, not really funding, but investing in the idea so that they can have returns at a later stage if the idea is profitable. At what point does corruption
idea is to keep
factor?
evidence against any negligence done by any company, be
Right.
it private or private sector. The idea they're investing in
Right.
is the keeping of that evidence.
Right.
So it would obviously benefit someone who's going to come in and say, hey, listen, I'm going to invest. Just make sure that my
But
thing...
this is your mandate. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when they meet me and then they realize, this guy is uncompromising,
Yeah.
then it becomes
I understand.
discouraging. So that's
Yeah.
one of the challenges I've faced. And the main major challenge is resources. For example, One Pulse Online was meant to start through a WhatsApp chat API, but we were not able to do that because I didn't have the money to pay for WhatsApp APIs and stuff. And there were other guys who did a similar thing to One Pulse Online. The difference being their focus is security, meaning people only report security incidences. And they got all the funding they wanted. But it's for, two benefits that they have. One, they're white. Two, they are focused on safety. Just what they're offering is one thing, safety. And the people that have all the money in South Africa are people who want to keep their resources safe. So it was easier for them to invest in that. Whereas now my client is the poor people who live in shacks. I chose that client because, in fact, all the softwares I built, all the programs I have, I built them because I was hoping that if I was alive and I was 12 years old and there was a 30-year-old person out there who could do anything about my situation, I would wish that they do it. And if that person was a software engineer, I would wish that they develop a software that can get me out of my poverty, or they develop a software that will get me out of this prejudice situation that I'm in. So I build from that perspective. I build for the child in me to say, can I be my big brother?
So I just wanted to ask something.
Yeah.
Instead of looking for your big funders, why not ask for a subscription fee from the people that who are benefiting from the app? Because when I think about it, I'm a small business. Corruption affects me a lot when I'm applying for funding. So I'm more than willing to put 50 Rand a month towards something like your platform. Have you thought of that approach as opposed to looking for? I know we're always enticed by the big funding from big organizations. Is that not an option for you?
Subscription is an option, but it's an easy option. So normally what I say is if you think of something amazing, try to think about it 3 times. If the third time you still think it's amazing, then you do it. So subscription was thought about it the first time, thought about it the second time, and the third time I was like, everybody makes money through a similar way. Yes, I am willing to get the middle class to subscribe, but then they don't have to if they don't need to. What I want is yourself to say, here's a problem that is in the map, and I have 10,000 that I think if I invest it into this map, it will be solved. Once you pledge that 10,000 to solving this problem, the people in the platform who are volunteering to go and solve the problem receive that 10,000 as a stipend. So I get a percentage from whatever you have pledged into this. So that's my solution. If you want to make an impact, as opposed to paying, yes, you can in the platform, because there's a wallet. You can maybe keep putting in 50 Rand, and then you will just, every time you see a post, you can then assign that 50 Rand to, oh, the somebody needs to go and clean the streets every day, or whatever. I'll just put 50 Rand into that. Let a person do whatever they feel without feeling like they are being forced to pay for my service.
Yeah, sorry, Sia. I was talking about the whistleblowing element of your business.
Oh.
Yes. I believe you've got an element of
Yes, there is.
whistleblowing.
There
And I think a lot of us would be interested in that.
Yeah.
No, nah.
Also, are you not scared? Do you have a gun at least? Because
Guys, like there's I feel like over time, when we have more of these chats, you probably, because some things need unpacking.
Yeah.
But as far as the whistleblowing part, there's a certain lifestyle that a person has to live that makes it not easy for the person to be predictable. If at least the least you can do is be unpredictable as a person who could have a target over your head.
Yeah.
As far as whistleblowers are concerned, I want this thing to be as free as possible. And I really have to raise a hand and say thank you to people like Ntlantla Mkhwanazi.
Yeah.
Because if a general has taken community safety and put it in parliament, then that means the 400 people who are sitting in parliament who are hearing this person are held accountable to us. That means in One Pulse Online, I have to have a profile for each of those people to say, what did you do? What did you do? What did you do? What did you do?
Yeah.
So that next year, during voting time,
There's a record.
instead of people saying, hey, we're going to vote for you based off this promise, nah, fam. Go to One Pulse Online, search a person's name, see what they did.
Yeah.
Search if there's a, because now young people are not voting anymore because they feel like, how do we hold these people accountable?
Yeah, they feel discouraged, and I think it's quite common that with lack of action, there comes discouragement, which results in apathy, voter apathy. But what I want to ask you, you mentioned something, and I think it stuck with me, right? That you had this walk over 1,400 kilometers, Cape to Pretoria, and when you got there, you had developed this code, and you made your presentation. All the president did was to give you 2,000 rands. I find that very, it's disappointing to say the least. So I want to know how has the leadership, and by leadership, I mean the guys at municipalities, councillors, provincial government, including national, where possible, how have they responded to this idea? Because in one sense, it actually helps them to do their jobs. On the other, it helps the community to connect with them. If I'm sitting in any position of authority, I'm definitely buying this idea. So how have they responded? And also, how has the community responded?
So what this whole experience has taught me is that people are good. It taught me that if you put a person in front of you when you need help, the person will help you. But if you put their supervisor or their superior who has ulterior intentions and motives in the room, you might not get the same help. So it's taught me to differentiate between the municipality, the councillors, and the different office bearers within the government. The municipality, I'm speaking about the office bearers, people who are not attached to any political party. Those people are very receiving towards the message. Problem comes where it now has to go to the superior, and the superior politicizes it. And once it gets politicized, it's a matter of whatever this guy can do, who do we have on our team that can pretend they're doing the same thing so that the community does not pay attention to this. So that's what I've been getting from senior supervisors who are oversee or who are political people overseeing
Yeah.
non-political offices.
Yeah, so there are political employees in council who are
Yes.
overseeing the staff of the municipality,
Oh.
essentially. And
The
and
staff
there's a gap between the two, because the staff wants to implement,
Yes.
but they rely on the supervision
Yes.
and the go ahead from the councillors or members of the council.
Right. So
Yeah.
let me just maybe fix that a little bit as well.
Yeah,
So councillors
Yeah.
simply carry the voice of the public.
yeah,
Then they bring
In
it
the
to the
council.
municipality,
Yeah.
to the council,
Yeah.
right? And then it is the MMCs, therefore, and
Correct.
the mayoral committees that would then come up with the right policies that will
Yes.
solve these problems.
yes.
Now, the office bearers receive the policies and then apply them.
yes,
When we go to make presentations to them, they see this as, oh my God, this solves so much of my problems.
yes,
But then when they after they've spoken to the supervisor would see, is this in line with my political party? Is this in line? They basically
Yes.
politicize it.
yeah.
And yeah, then the rest
Yeah.
is history.
Now I see where it can be problematic. I think I wanted to also just check with you, because also we are kind of pressed, for time. Where do you see One Pulse in the next 5 years in terms of growth?
I see it replacing Facebook.
Oh, that's big.
Aim for the
That's
stars.
big. I'm actually, I love this. Yeah.
Yeah. So Africa has introduced an internet network that is independent from the rest of the world, similar to what China did a lot of years ago. What that does, it means there's going to be social media platforms that are built by Africans. There's going to be, Twitter is going to have a competitor that is purely African.
Yeah.
And it's like all of these programs are going to have competitors. And with the rise of AI, everything is fake. So people are going to look for real things. And One Pulse Online is focused on what happened, where did it happen, who did it,
Real time.
real time.
Yeah.
So people are going to be more when they're looking for fake things,
Yeah.
they'll go fake. But when they know, okay, now I want to be serious,
Yeah.
then they go for One Pulse Online. So I see it
100%.
as the
A game changer.
game changer.
Yeah.
When a politician speaks
Yeah.
and says whatever, video, picture, fagala, ula.
Can I tell you something? If I was a politician
Yeah.
and I was running next year for the municipal elections,
Yeah.
I'd definitely speak to you.
Yeah.
And this would be my campaign strategy,
Okay.
because you are providing a practical solution which most communities, especially in metros, would appreciate and they actually need,
Right.
But if you had to write a letter to God, what message would you have for him?
Give me 1,000 years. That's the letter I'd write to God. Give me 1,000 years without calling me back, so that I can verify everything you've told or everything that I've seen. So the now I'm saying it. Actually, it's the first time I'm saying it live, on record.
Yeah.
I believe that God is the collective, in a way. I'm not sure how far deep that can go, but it'll take me a long time to actually have a true answer to who and exactly how God is. However, my vision, the main vision for me, the story of my life is cure death. Whether you can do it through technology, whether you can do it through what you call neuroscience or whatever, cure death, so that you can live long enough to verify all these, because we've been told a whole lot of stuff about who we are, where we come from, where we're going. I mean, we don't even know if we have to die. Everybody's like, we're all gonna die one day. Do we have to? We don't know. And there's no one alive today that can tell us yes or no. And my message to God would be, if there's anything you wanna add, like if there's any chat that needs to happen between you and me, give me 1,000 years where I would, after that 1,000 years, I can say, Kesha, okay, you can take me now.
But why?
Because within that 1,000 years, I can have enough evidence of who God is. And because most of us here, we are a single generation lasts around 200 years. So there's no one alive today that is 200 years old. That means the stories we hear from 200 years ago are hearsay. And we live in a world where people have, back to the high school analogy, whatever crazy impulse that you might have, that you would have had there at the gate when you are exiting the school, someone will do it. Someone will slap you because you thought about it too. And now there are white people, I'm sorry for using color. There are people who have been alive longer than us, who have been so comfortable that they've been able to diarize everything and pass on that information to their children. The only thing that we think we have to die because we assume that they tell their children that when you die, this and that. We don't know. We don't know whether these people are even dead or alive. They probably, you know what? I'll just tell God to give me 1,000 years. That's it.
Okay, no, that's 100% fine. We'll have a conversation, you and I, maybe offset, because I really find it interesting that you think 1,000 years would give you a different perspective in understanding the question of who's God.
I believe in samples. I believe in when you have a theory,
Yeah.
test it. Test
And
it
you need
3
1,000
times.
years. Okay.
Test it 3 times.
Yeah.
A generation is 200 years. That means 2 for 600 years.
Yeah.
And then these remaining 400 years, that's when I can start writing my letter to God.
Right. Okay. I'll accept that. I'll accept that for now, but we'll still have a chat. Mr. T, have you anything in closing that you want to say?
Yeah, no, just to hear about your spiritual journey and what you're talking about. I also, well, personally, I think there is no such thing as death. I think it's only the spirit, it's only the body that really dies. The spirit lives on. But that's a topic for another day.
I'm tempted to reply, but because it's a very interesting topic, you know, maybe if we can spend 5 minutes on that, I'd be happy. Yeah. So please, you were saying
questions. You have questions about it, or
no? I do have.
Let me just throw my reply to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
When a person says, in for example, in your case, when you say we don't die,
we don't die.
My thing is this: if I was to say what I'm saying. With that foundation as my with that statement as my foundation, I would say to God, don't change my state until 1,000 years has passed. So even if I don't die, but I do change state. When I change state, I don't know what's happening on the other side of. I mean, water. Who knows? In fact, we do know. We've seen it. We have evidence of this. If you take water and you imprint a memory in it. And then you freeze it to ice. And then you boil it you freeze it to ice. When you melt it back, it will give you that memory that you put in there. Same thing. Okay, well, the only thing that we haven't seen is when you start now boiling it to the evaporative state, then it does not bring back that memory that you would have put in there. So when you put the memory in water, by the way, how you put memory in water? You take a glass, you take something that is see-through.
Yeah.
You write whatever memory that you want to write.
Yes.
Or you design whatever memory. And then you put it there so that there's enough sunlight to transpose the message into the water.
Okay.
Now, if you remove the thing and you look at the water through a microscope, you will see that image.
Yes.
So, but now if you freeze the water and you bring it back, it still shows you that image. But if you evaporate the water, it no longer shows you the image. So my question
the state has changed.
The state has changed.
Yeah.
And also, maybe I haven't tested it in a closed environment where you boil water into the gaseous state and then you bring it back to solid again. So that's a different story. Yeah. Well, I'll have to experiment first before I can have an opinion.
Yeah.
But with these two, since I have an opinion, my opinion is in the beginning when you first imprint a memory. Does the water know does it know that it'll have this memory when it changes state?
Yeah.
So my saying to God is, don't change my state until I'm sure what's going to happen on the other side.
I think maybe the answer to your question is ask God to remember who you are every time. Because I think we've been here for a very long time as spirit, but we just don't remember ourselves. And that's what I think the whole journey of a human being is to try and remember.
No, sorry, I have a chat about that, right?
Yeah.
And my chat is, I don't know, I was reading something just last night. I don't know if you saw my status. It was about death. I posted it on my WhatsApp. And it gives me an opinion with what you're saying because I don't know. My understanding is that life has two things, which I think is life's own engineering of keeping balance. And that is birth and that is death. Birth begins life and death ends life. What you call a spirit, and with the argument you are making that you must ask God to help you to remember who you are, to remember, like for the spirit to remember itself, becomes problematic because memory is a function of a brain. And to the extent I understand, Sia is looking at me and he's laughing. So to the extent I understand it, at least in my view, a spirit has no, whatever a spirit is, however we define it, it has no capacity to exist outside of the body. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that. You have to be conscious. By conscious, I mean you have to have a brain that is functional for you to bear a spirit. When you die, it's chai. When you die, you've been replaced. And it's not, it's law. It's life's own natural law, life's own way of keeping balance. So I think from beginning to the end, that is what human beings basically are. We are, as it is here, seems to enjoy this. So that's my chat about that. I don't think beyond death there's anything we can feel. And I'll say this because someone said, if you say that after death you would, like, people want to have this nice funerals and stuff like that, and they say, please treat my spirit well when I'm gone. You can't feel, because to feel you need a brain. And once you are gone, what does death mean? It means the brain has stopped functioning. That's what death means.
Yes.
Once, even if you are still breathing, once your brain has stopped functioning, you are dead. And that's what death means. So that's my chat.
So I'm just getting mine. Do you want to reply?
Maybe we can reply. Try to think of it as a computer, right? There's the memory that's in the CPU.
And there's the cloud.
And then there's the cloud.
Yeah.
So when the actual computer is gone and dusted,
right,
it's gone. You can still take the cloud and put it in a new computer.
In a new
those
computer.
Memories are still there. So I think that's my analogy, is that. But I think spirituality for me, it's a science, right? But it's a science that we can't comprehend for now as the human race. And that's why I don't really like dabbling into the argument of spirituality, because I think for now we just can't comprehend that far.
Yeah.
You know.
Now my fear then is the generation before us. How far could they understand? Like, you see, like you saying now, spirituality is such a deep concept that we don't have enough time to go through it, right? To actually expand and experience it. Hence, I calculated 1,000 years to say, okay, cool.
But even that calculation is what you think might be sufficient, and you think it might give you results. But it's a projection. It's not an actual predetermined calculation that would lead you to a particular outcome. So it's not like if you calculate distance, you have a formula for how to reach the outcome, but you are dead sure that this formula is going to lead me to a correct outcome. In your case, your calculation is like an estimation, and you're betting on it to say maybe 1,000 years would be sufficient.
How did people figure out the formula for calculating distance?
It's experimenting. Experimenting, everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The 600 years are for experimenting.
Yeah.
And then the 400 years. That's basically this conversation here.
Yeah.
I see. It's very powerful. When you point out that we disconnect, it's like you switched off the computer, basically. But my thing is, if your perspective of God is a certain way, therefore your perspective of spirituality and afterlife has to abide by that way.
Yeah.
So my belief is God is us collectively. How so? If 5 people hate you, like if I'm in the room right now and people, I'm not gonna count people in this room hate me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have a good day, because my psyche, starting with my psyche, it will constantly be thinking about what each of these people are thinking.
Yeah.
So that has taken something away from me. So I feel like there are a lot of nitty-gritties that make up our body that attach to other people. And when we fail to acknowledge the other people, we disconnect ourselves from God.
Yeah.
And then, so now, which now takes me to how you live after you have died.
If you do live.
If you do live,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. So my thing is, how and the if depends on if people remember you.
Yeah. Well, a famous philosopher, Spinoza, says that God is nature. So God is the universe and everything that's in it.
Right.
That includes us human beings, that include nature. And that's why if you go, I know you like taking walks in parks and hiking just to connect with nature. When you are by the sea, there's just a feeling about that makes you, it keeps you grounded. And that's my take on actually my representation of God is nature, and everything that's in nature essentially is a representation of God, and we can't explain it because we are not given the capacity to fully comprehend.
Do you have the desire to unpack it?
I do. It's just that we are out of time. Let's set up another episode.
We'll do another one.
We'll talk about
I'm
it.
not
Yeah.
talking about the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm talking about now as yourself innately. Do you have the desire to unpack such origins of who you are?
Yeah, actually, it's I'll say the entire life that I'm living is dedicated to that specific purpose. You understand what I'm saying?
I like that.
So in every day, I meet a new version of myself.
Yeah.
And that introduces me again to the things that I want to know about God.
I like that.
But I believe in the God of Spinoza. Mr. T.
No, it's been a wonderful episode, Mr. Siya. Thank you so much for gracing us. I did have one more question, but I see we're out of time. Anyways, I've been dabbling into a thesis possibly on the right to access internet as a basic human right, right? Because I think innovations like the one that you have are quite pointless if people in the deepest parts of Eastern Cape can't get access to it. And I just wanted to hear what your thoughts are regarding access to the internet and accessing, because essentially when you access internet, you're accessing the world and you're accessing opportunity.
So there's a guy called BAM Telecoms. Unabisi BAM Xhosa, BAM calls himself.
Okay.
I hope you're right.
I swear to you. When I say BAM, he gives me this look. BAM.
Okay. Now it makes sense. Yeah.
He's off BAM Telecoms, and they basically make smartphones. So we collaborated on a project which is currently incomplete due to the struggle of a black person. Let me call it that. But the in the project, what they did is they acquired devices or what do you call things that you put inside a phone? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Adapter.
What a chip.
No, I'm just pardon me. No, I'm just being weird. No.
Okay.
They acquired some assembly line for smartphones that are also abodilili. So it's a touch screen, but you can like press things on it, etc. And with that collaboration, what we were trying to do, we were trying to get One Pulse Online to be easily accessible when you buy the BAM Telecom smartphone or small phone, where there would be, you would have free access to the internet through the phone. Obviously, that meant partnerships with service providers like Abo MTN and stuff, which remain incomplete. So that's the struggle of the black person. My take is the Simba project was not a mistake. The Simba project by Mark Zuckerberg and the likes. Remember, for COVID-19 to happen,
can you just elaborate what the Simba project is?
So the Simba project is a project that meant the introduction of a fiber network cable that goes around Africa. That project was initiated in 2017, and then it was taken out for testing in 2018. And then by coincidence and lucky enough for the guys that started the program, there was then a lockdown. And since there was a lockdown, they received a large number of customers who will test the Simba project or the network. But the intention for them was to have every African have access to the internet, because I suppose they figured that Africa is growing to have more young people who could be good customers for them, but they don't have access to them because there's no internet infrastructure. So yeah, the Simba project basically answers your question and mine as well, to say I really feel like it should be, I'm talking to lawyers. Yes, let's lobby the government. Let's lobby the government to make the internet free, because we have enough resources to make that happen.
Yeah, it's your project. All right. I think this was an amazing episode. I think there's just so much to chat about. I wish we had you for longer, but unfortunately we are also time constrained. But I thought this was amazing. And I think as a person, you really are amazing, just as a human being, just before we get to One Pulse, and you're doing amazing work with One Pulse. I wish you well. And I think if we can contribute in any way, willing, to do that. And just from us, the Cooper Show, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. Right, Mr. T, all good.
All good from my side.
We out
Thank
of
you so
here,
much.
man. We out of here. Wow, what an amazing episode with Siya Pesi. You heard from the man himself. A very telling story, very touching, but at the same time, very inspiring. To all the kids out there who are growing up from villages, from very, destitute backgrounds, I guess, and I hope that you are inspired, because I am, that your background should not define your future. You define your own future. Well, I'm happy with the episode, and I hope that it reaches everyone the same way it has impacted me. I want to give a huge shout out to all our sponsors for making this show possible. And please, 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 I always find this quite astounding. Most of the people who contact us, they tell us that they love the show, but over 80% of them have not subscribed. So please like, share, and subscribe. We are on all these platforms, YouTube, as well as the Spotify platform. This is The Cooper Show, law relatable.
Mr. Cooper. Okay. Mr.